everyone. Happy St. Paddy's Day. Sorry, I'm not wearing anything green. Anyway, welcome to the regular meeting of the Municipal Council of the City of Westmount, held in the Council Chamber at City Hall on March 17, 2026, as which are present M. Stern, Councillor Chada, Councillor Chomsky, Councillor Kez, Councillor Levine, Councillor Moss, and Councillor Shami. Two councillors are not here. So I call the meeting to order. And the second item on the agenda is the mayor's and councillors' reports. I'll give a few comments to start. Not necessarily in order of importance. A few things that are on my mind, bring to your attention. We've had a pretty difficult snow season, snow, freezing, whatever. We've heard a lot of very good comments on the snow removal and the timeliness thereof. I noticed myself, I wake up at 6 o'clock and look outside, the street seems to be cleaned. And we've heard a lot of comments from the public that were very positive. So we're very happy about that. And it brings me to my second item, which is Assistance Westmount and our portal. If you have any comments at any time, we've heard a lot and we count on your comments on the potholes. We'll talk about that later, but Assistance Westmount is very helpful in addressing any concerns you have. The portal is very useful, so please use it. It's very helpful for us. The third item I want to mention only briefly is the Southeast. It's an important issue for us. We understand that there are, from our urban planning department, there are approximately, maybe more, 3 parties who own space there and are working on plans which they expect to come forward and meet with urban planning to discuss preliminary ideas, and we continue to look for what else we could do and what else we want for the area. But I have nothing further to report at this time. Another item which I would like to mention briefly, it has to do with maintenance. We've had Councillor Chomsky and I have met with maintenance people, with Tom Fleece, who's responsible for all of them, and we find that maintenance, and they've acknowledged that the maintenance protocol is not quite what it should be. We have some new senior people, and they are committed to improving our maintenance protocol, and that should go a long way, I think, for the future. The other thing I want to talk about is, of course, on everybody's mind, which is our famous roads and potholes. This is the biggest issue for us. I identified that. I've mentioned that right from the beginning. We've all heard it, all of us, while we were running for office, and it continues to be even worse of a challenge than we thought, exacerbated by the weather, which has been very difficult, the freezing and the thawing that you see on roads that are already weak and in bad condition. Creates these tremendous potholes. We fix the potholes, and you have limited ability to fix them properly in the winter. And then, of course, what happens? It snows again, and our own snow vehicles pass, and unfortunately, the pothole fillings pop out. So rest assured, it's a very important issue for us. And as you know, one thing I mentioned before, I've asked for a complete assessment of our infrastructure. That'd be the roads, the buildings, everything underneath the roads and everything else. We have 30 buildings, we have 51 kilometers of roads. And although we have a very good idea as to the condition of the roads, and our engineering people have a tremendous data as to what's underneath the water mains and what was done when, and when this road was last done, I've asked, as you know, for a complete assessment, and that's being worked on actively by our own people, who are very capable and have a lot of the information, and that's expected to be ready in April. When that is ready in April, it will be an assessment of everything with a plan of action how to fix it. They call it a 10-year plan. I was hopeful it would be a 7-year plan, but let's see what they come up with and what we see. And then, of course, will be the how do we can't fix everything at the same time. We'll have to borrow money to fix things, and we can't inconvenience everyone at the same time. Like, we can't fix all the major roads and have people redirected all kinds of places. So what we've done in the interim, we have a fairly good idea of what has to be done. And as you know, we passed the PTI, which is our capital budget for the next 3 years, which is greatly enhanced from what was done previously. It would appear that for many years, the past administration did move things forward, for which we're thankful. But for many years, probably before that, there was an underinvestment, a serious underinvestment in infrastructure, and we're stuck today with badly deteriorating infrastructure. You have a car, you're supposed to maintain it. If you don't change your oil 1 year, doesn't really matter, but you keep doing that for a while and you wind up with a lot of things to fix. So that we're faced with the dilemma. We have a lot of choices of what to do. So we've passed a 3-year budget of about $50 million each year, is $150 million. The first year, which is the year we're in, we identified those major roads that do need work immediately for various reasons, whether it's a road, whether it's the urgent hydro stuff underneath or that has to be fixed. And you would have received last week, all residents received a list of the roads to be done. In addition to that, there are many other roads that have tremendous potholes. We have programs in place. We're going out to tender now, by the way, for all these projects. We have plans in addition to repair things that we cannot replace at the moment. For instance, we'll be doing a lot of repairs of cracks in the roads, because if you don't repair them, it deteriorates faster. And the other thing, in some areas we'll be doing a lot of potholes, and we will be also doing, where the road is quite bad with many potholes, we will be doing sections of the street. If we don't have the ability to do the entire street, we will do sections of the street. So I don't want to go into more details. Maybe Councillor Chomsky, when he speaks, may add something to that, but rest assured, that's the important thing. We want to make sure that this project gets done. All the roads will get done in a timely way, in an organized way, and that in the meantime, we will have to live with some roads that are less than ideal. We will make sure that they are at least safe, and we're trying to please everybody and fix everything over a reasonable period of time. So those are really my comments. And I know it's a big it's a big change. There's a lot of pressure on the engineers and the other staff, and we have very capable people. So I'm confident all the work will be done and will be done well. Do any councillors have any comments on anything? Yes, Councillor Shami.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted, I know you alluded to the dramatic weather we've been having, thawing, freezing, snow, rain, beautiful sun. But I just wanted to shout out, last night we saw the 90-kilometer-hour winds. This morning, for our elderly and for all residents, our salt doesn't work when the wind at that speed. The roads were very, very slippery. Today, there were up to 320,000 Quebecers without power. We, of course, in the city had a few power outages that have been returned to normal. But just a shout out, in severe weather like this, especially high winds, it was very, very dangerous. We must be vigilant, especially with our elderly and those living alone, to find it, to reach out to folks and let them know you're there to help. Because it was quite, I had some calls from residents, it was quite frightening with these high winds we don't normally get in the city of Westmount 90-kilometer-an-hour winds, but today was particularly very, very windy and dangerous. So just a shout out to Public Works, to the great women and men who take care of our roads, but also to all residents to just be careful, be vigilant, and give a helping hand and do an act of kindness for your neighbors if they're alone. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anything else? Or so I just want to add one comment, because what I do also is I answer the unanswered questions from the previous meeting. I think there was one unanswered question, and that had to do with the noise at the project at 500 Claremont. We had security as a result of the question by, I think it was John Stewart. about the noise, and we had our people at Public Security go there every day for a week, and I have a whole log here of everything they did, and they saw they were there at 6:30 in the morning, and there were no issues. The workers do show up early on time. They don't make a lot of noise. They do their work. They start probably at 7, but many of them are here at the 6 and 6:30 to set up here, I mean, on site. And actually, we have not had any complaint about noise in the area since December 20th about. So we continue to watch that. And so I will continue with our agenda, which is really item 3, the first question period. Do we have any questions?
Okay. I'm sorry, it's more than a question. This thing came up. Qu'est-ce que je fais là? Ah, merci. I want to talk about. Mine is not here today. Mine is not here. D'Amico
Who is that?
is not here.
What is that issue?
So, you were all copied in, Your Highness the Mayor, okay? So this thing came up when at the YMCA, a Thursday, Aquafit was canceled and was replaced. It's one for each, okay?
Can we get your name, please?
Lucy, okay, was replaced with a 6 o'clock in the morning lane swim. Now, do you hear me?
Yes?
Good. So the first question is, does any of you council members remember the new schedule you signed? Do you have a memory of that schedule?
I didn't
Any
sign
of
a
you?
schedule, no.
Or did you pay attention to the details? You didn't.
What's your point? What's your
I
point?
didn't think so. YMCA pool usage
Yeah.
for citizens.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
So you just signed the
pay them
contract.
for a certain
You
number
just
of
signed the
hours and they-
contract.
yes.
But do you remember the items in this contract?
Yes, you're talking to me in a condescending way. What's your question, please?
Excuse me?
You're talking to me in a
Okay.
condescending way.
My question is,
I don't know what hours the swimming
you
is.
were copied in, Mr. Mayor.
I don't know.
So,
So you know what, I don't know, we can have the administration go back to you. None of us know about any of the
okay, I
the
thought
hours.
so. I thought so,
That's
yeah.
not our job to
But
do that,
signing a
please.
contract on behalf of your citizens,
Yes.
you should at least get involved. And the question is here, who decides on the schedule in the contract recently signed by you? Is it done in repetitive way by the city or YMCA or together without a survey made by the city with citizens to find out their
What
real...
is your question, please?
That's the question.
What's the question?
Okay, that's the question.
What do you want? Tell us what your question is.
Who decides?
Administration.
Who decides?
The administration made an arrangement with the Y.
Mario, I'm sorry.
The administration makes an arrangement with the Y to provide service to our residents.
On what
We
level?
pay for
On
a
what
certain, at the
what
director level,
Excuse me?
the
On what
director level, yes.
Conseil level?
No, at the
Okay.
director level, they make, based on
the
information they have. Finish the question, please.
Okay, let me finish
Yes.
the question. So who decides? We could never find out. Okay? Now, this Thursday class is
Yeah.
taking place
So,
for the members. We are maybe 10 people.
listen, I can't answer you here. Listen to me.
No, no.
If you
I-
have
no,
specific
you-
questions, send it into the office. The administration will get the facts and will answer you.
Because this
You're
is
asking me about a
ongoing.
schedule at the Y. We're not wasting everybody's time on that issue. With all due respect, it's important to you, but we cannot help you now. So
I
send it
agree with all
in,
that,
we will
but
tell
I'm
you.
not finishing my question.
Well, you're running out of time, so.
Okay, we know that this service is paid by the city to
Yes.
YMCA
Yes.
with our tax money,
Yes.
right? Okay. So what is the budget you have for YMCA, and what is the percentage of that amount on the budget as a whole? You don't know
It's
the-
irrelevant, okay? It's irrelevant to you.
It's very
We
relevant
pay a
to
certain amount for a certain number of hours, and I've asked the administration, they check, they log, it's used by X number of people on a very regular basis.
I can
We
tell
know
you
what I know what the rate is,
Because
I
we
know
have
what
been
is.
working on it for a long time
Okay,
now.
what is your question, though? You keep,
But I asked you the question, who decides?
I told you so many times,
between
the
YMCA
administration decides.
And you
Dave,
on the schedule. Who
I'll ask the
decides?
acting DG to respond.
I can answer that question for you.
Finally, I will have an answer.
I know you're referring to the Thursday.
Louder, please.
I know you're referring to the Thursday swim for the Aquafit. That Aquafit was never ever included in the agreement.
Going there for 2 years.
Listen to me, please. Can I finish talking? Can I finish talking? Can I finish talking? Can I finish talking, please?
My question
May I? No. I'm answering a question. You asked a question. I'm answering a question.
We are not going there. I want to know who decides on the schedule that the people sign. Who?
The schedule that existed. I decided on the schedule.
You decide.
I decided
You know what?
based on.
Thank you for your question.
Based on
I-
information, based on hours that were offered to us by the YMCA.
So it's the YMCA who decides.
Okay.
You are the client. You're paying them. You're giving them our money, and
So-
they won't let you decide.
We have a big agenda to cover.
but
Thank you for your question.
question
If you,
is finished.
well, it's finished to me. It's finished. Please sit down. We don't have time to go through this. We have a big agenda. You send in, yeah, I am a citizen too. You're wasting everybody's time. Nobody wants to hear this. Send in your letter. It's none of your business. You go look on the file, you'll get it. You're condescending to me and you're wasting everybody's time here. If you want an answer, send in, I told you multiple times, send in your question. Dave will answer every single question. We answer everybody's question. He can't answer you now. He can't answer. You're asking who signs. You asked 20 times. Who approves? Jesus approves. It doesn't matter now.
Who decides what schedule?
No, it's wasting everybody's time. We have a big
And
agenda.
I've answered you
Please.
that question. I already
fair to
answered.
the other people.
I said I made the decision based on hours that the YMCA offered to us.
The YMCA
The
decides.
the Y
You give them the money, and they decide.
Ma'am,
there's
so
we
let's find
can't
out why.
just choose what we want, when we want, how we want.
You're paying them.
It doesn't matter. That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Money desperately. You are paying them,
So-
and they won't give you the right.
Thank you for your
think this is
comments.
finished. Thank you.
We will remember that. Thank you.
No. You remember.
No. You leave everything. No. Next. Alex.
Hello, everyone. Alex Chaman, Chemin de Casson.
Yes.
Just could we please be respectful towards council?
Yes.
You're our elected official. We have to engage with you in a respectful way. So I call upon us to be respectful, please.
Thank you.
Those are your things, man.
Nobody can answer your question.
I work myself in the city. I could answer your question afterwards. I'll be more than happy to provide you with explanations. All right. So, just had a question regarding 4216 Dorchester, the Scopy project. So I was just wondering, what actions can be taken by the council to attract investments for this project to be carried out before the expiration of the bylaw in November? So I was just wondering, yeah.
You said what? Are you talking about the southeast?
So on Dorchester, there's a project.
The what? Okay.
Mike, I may cough because I have a bad cold, but that particular site has changed ownership 2 times. And to facilitate development, they were able to sell the project in hand also. What can we do to facilitate it at this time? There's not much. I mean, it's a private property. There's a nice project attached to it. Market dictates. I don't know if financing is a problem, but clearly there's financing problems for developers at this time. So what can the city do? I don't know. We've made it pretty nice by passing it over, so I don't know what can be done.
For sure, and I commend the work that you've done, Councillor Kez, Councillor Shami, and Councillor Emerson, Councillor D'Amico, because it was, I mean, the motion was passed twice in the last council. But are there any, I don't know, incentives that we could give to, to promoters who would want to purchase the lot? Is there anything that we could do in this regards, or we just have to wait until the market comes in?
Well, the zoning changed, the heights changed, the depth changed, the footprint changed. I think they're giving a lot and still nothing. So I don't know what more you can give. I think it's a question of the climate of the finances out there at this time. That's what my personal view is.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Councillor Kez.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, council people, council members, Jeremy Cooperstock from 436 Strathcona. First, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the detailed account of the situation with regard to the potholes and road maintenance. Nice to sort of have a high-level understanding of what challenges the city faces, and certainly we're aware of that. I'm wondering whether the city has the possibility of providing a sort of planned timeline for the coming years, so that those of us on streets who are not scheduled for the upcoming round of maintenance can have a sense of, okay, how long do we have to live with the current sort of disastrous, bombed-out conditions of our streets? And also on Strathcona, I'm aware that well, I'm not sure how many of the properties, but there's a possibility that we have lead pipe entrances. So the mains are apparently, they've been checked, but we have entrances into the individual residences that may be lead containing, and that's a bit of a concern. So if there is going to be work done on the street, whether that would be an opportunity at the same time for us to remedy the issues of lead entries. Yes. So timeline, but also in terms of, you know, we're aware of the whole budget planning situation of the city. Is it potentially a possibility where the city could accelerate the schedule by bringing in contractors outside of traditional Westmount contracting services to deal with this problem in a faster pace, given that it is, you know, reached such a level of dismayed quality that we are facing at present? So thank you for the consideration of this.
So you asked essentially three questions. Can we know what roads are being done? And can we accelerate? And what can we do about the lead entry? So, as I said, we'll have a complete report by the end of April. And at that time, the recommendations will also include, the report will also include recommendations as to what will be done when. Mm-hmm. This will be reviewed very carefully by council, and bearing in mind the status of the roads. We actually have a 2004 report which was done by an independent engineering firm as to assessing each of the roads, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, as to their quality, and based on two international standards. One is drivability, and the other is comfort. I think that there's two international standards. So we know already that a lot of roads are bad. We've, when we see this report, we will take into account, and we've already spoken to our people to say, what can we do to accelerate? Notwithstanding that we've already approved the PTI, can we expand? Can we do more? And they're looking at it. If we have to accelerate and speed up, and even made an change the PTI to increase more if we can. There are issues, very complicated issues. First of all, there's limitation on people. To give out a contract, it's not like you call two companies in. It's a very detailed process in municipal law and under provincial law as well, and federal. You have to go to appel d'offre, and these documents are 100 pages. We have to specify exactly what we want. We go out to tender, and we have to pretty much accept the lowest bid as long as they qualify. We have to determine in advance and tell them in the appel d'offre what are the qualifications, and they're complicated. It's very complicated to even assess and determine which one we accept. And once it's accepted, there's a big onus on us, to prepare the appel d'offre, to review what comes in, and then to supervise. Because although the work comes with guarantees and these companies have bonds, and some of the companies we work with, it's really a big onus on our people to supervise on a daily basis to see that the work is done properly. Another complication is what's underneath. There are some roads where we have hydro underneath, many of them, and we have water mains and water pipes. The water mains and water pipes, when we became our own city again in 2006, I think it was, prior to the time, the city of Montreal maintained everything. So we thought they owned everything. And then when we separated again, we got a cadeau à Noël. Here's all your pipes. And then we saw they didn't really maintain things the way they were supposed to. We have water mains that are 80 years old, 100 years old, 120 years old. Then we have to constantly make an assessment. What do we fix first? So we're worried about you and I. We're driving. We don't really pay too much attention what's underneath. We want to know that the street is drivable, but some streets can be done relatively quickly, and that's what we're looking at by doing. If the water pipes underneath look like they're, and we have very detailed records, look like they should last for a long period of time. And if the hydro is okay as well, you can do like a 2-inch top coat on the asphalt. There are other situations we got to go down to 4.5 inches. There are others where we have to go much, much further, including a concrete base. Many of our roads in high traffic areas have a concrete base. They're well done. The concrete lasts 60, 70 years, but the top has to be changed every 20 years. So there's a lot of, like one of the things we're doing is we're doing Sherbrooke. And Côte Saint-Antoine is also very bad. The question is, which one do you do? They were both bad. But at the end of the day, we have major hydro things, parts underneath Sherbrooke, that section of Sherbrooke, and those things are past due. And if that breaks, it's a big problem. You have to cut up the whole street. So we can't do both streets at the same time. They're major thoroughfares. So I'm telling you a long story to illustrate to you it's very complicated. But what we will do, we will communicate. We will review once we get this report. If a road is in terrible condition, we can't put it on the schedule to be done in 2032. Right. It doesn't make sense. You got to do something before. And the third thing you ask about is about lead. So lead, the standards has changed a lot. The permissible amount by the province of Quebec used to be 50 parts per million. It was reduced to 40 parts per million, to 10, and now to 5. 5 is probably safe, and but we encourage people to change their water entry. We do it when we do a road. We're cognizant of that. We tell people, we're doing your road, you should change your water entry if you want to. To date, 45% of the water entries have been changed. So we continue to make that available and tell people. I think at the time we had even like a small subvention, I don't know if we still have that, to help people. I know I changed my water main and water entry, and for some reason I still have, the safest they say is not more than 2. Mine is over 2. We don't know why. The water was changed to copper. So anyway,
It's not
the
just the
city
entry.
delivered me one of those pitchers, filters, and everything was changed. So we don't even know. In an old house, you know, you could have a lead in a joint somewhere in the pipes in the wall, who knows? So, but we're cognizant we want people to change their water entry, especially when we're redoing the street. So you'll be,
That's when it's easy.
yes.
Yeah. So I appreciate that it's, you know, the scheduling is a challenge, and the report, you know, has outlined many streets that have the issues, but the report, as you said, was done in 2004? Is that the
2024.
2024, okay,
I
so
may
it's
have said
relatively
2000.
recent.
Yes,
but-
relatively
okay,
recent.
okay. Well, just I guess having the peace of mind that our streets are going to be scheduled in
Yes.
the near term, given that they're in
Yeah.
such disastrous condition, would, I think, make a lot of us feel much more confident that.
You know, don't forget, it looks like for a long period of time, we just underinvested. And things got, what happened is nobody wanted to borrow money. It was a very prudent thing. Maybe don't borrow money, you can't get into trouble. Yeah, that's true. But as time went on, things became much more expensive. And the dollars you had left to work on, that was left to fix. That's all we can fix. That's all the money we have. So we have, this council has a very different attitude. It's crisis. We are falling behind. We can be falling behind. So we got to be doing at least 3 kilometers a year, and this year we're doing 3. The original proposal was to do less than 1, so it's not acceptable. And probably for many, many years, I didn't go back, very little was done because we didn't have the money.
Even at 3, it concerns me that it's going to take many years to actually deal with the whole
Yeah,
structure.
but we're going to make sure that all the streets are safe in the meantime. And we've challenged our administration too to look at new technologies for pothole repair and new equipment and different equipment that you could rent and try. And we're trying different things and checking what other cities are doing, just to see other cities in other provinces. But we have a unique place where It's beautiful. It's on the mountain, but on the mountain, if you don't salt, people could kill themselves. So they're out early. They salt. The salt is obviously not good for our roads, as you well know. And for many years, we probably didn't have enough money. We didn't fix the cracks, which we're now fixing all the cracks. So that accelerated the deterioration. We're on the case now. This is the top priority for the administration and for me and the council.
I get that impression very strongly. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rochelle Cantor. I also live on Strathcona. As a follow-up to his questions, I think it would be really important for the council to make a point of, we talked about transparency when everybody was running through. I met with you personally, which, by the way, you owe somebody a response to an email that has yet to be responded. I think that transparency is going to be really important, and it is important. I personally have made phone calls to your engineer trying to have clarity on what the plan is. You know, Strathcona doesn't just have a terrible road situation for potholes. We also do have lead in our water. We know that the lead is in the water. We know that the levels are not exactly acceptable. And obviously, if the council, since you do have a report and it did identify the highest priority streets, I'm kind of scratching my head wondering why Arlington was chosen over Strathcona. I'm sure there were very good reasons why, which I'm sure you guys will share, but understanding what the plan is for each of the individuals in all the different streets, you know, what has been done. I'd love to know what has been done. The money has been allocated, the council prior to you, whether it was enough, not enough, whatever. You have an action plan. There's an assessment that's being charged to everybody in order to help offset some of these costs, which great idea, but as a resident, I'd like to know when my road is going to be done. That's really what I care about.
Yeah.
And at the same time, everybody else would care to know, you know, is our road getting done? And by the way, I've made multiple phone calls to Andrew Plant, and other people have made these phone calls to try to get answers, or even, I've never had a phone call back. I've made phone calls since the fall of last year. We've never had a phone call back. And like I said, I'm a reasonable person. I'm not a shit disturber. I just really want to know, when is my road being done? And I'd like to know when I can get the lead off. And yes, my house had the main entry, water entry was changed. Nothing to do with the city, because the city hasn't changed the lead pipe entry to the service of the houses. So my question is, when can we expect to know about our specific streets? Is it 1 year, 2 years, 5 years? We have a whole gang hanging out here
as I
today.
said, I think the plan would be, we're waiting to see this report from our own engineers, and many other people are involved to develop this. I call it an assessment. It's a report as to the status of everything and when everything's going to be fixed according to their recommendation. The council will review it, and once we're satisfied with it, I think this should be communicated to people. They should know, you're right, and it will be done. And the other thing is, I'm disappointed to hear that you call people here and they don't call you back. Maybe they don't have the answer for when your street's being done, but there's no excuse. You should be called back.
I agree.
And I tell everyone at the administration, our policy is to call back people very promptly.
Yeah, okay,
So,
well, listen,
Thank
again.
you for your comment.
Thank you.
And we will get back to you.
So
on-
when can we expect? I hear what you're saying, but when?
Probably May, if we have our report in April, hopefully by May.
And the report of 2024 is a different report than what you're expecting in April?
Yeah, it might be it'll be updated, let's put it that way.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And more comprehensive. Yes, Paul, Councilor Levine.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In response to your question, the mayor mentioned Assistance Westmount. I really encourage residents to write to Assistance Westmount. Assistance Westmount feeds your question to the appropriate people. An answer is almost always returned, and they really do get you a response. You might not be satisfied with the response, and then you can deal with it, but at least it's a good feed-in to Westmount and to getting an answer to your questions, which you deserve response to.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, good evening. My name is Ben Abadi. I also live on Strathcona. I just wanted to let you know that there's at least 10 of us from Strathcona here this evening. We're a very small street. We're 1 block long, but our street is in really bad shape, and if there's anything that can be done to have our little 1 block long street taken care of, it would really go a long way with us.
So we will look into that. You brought it to our attention. We will look into that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And get back to you.
Hi, my name's Joey Rabinovich. I'm also on Strathcona. I don't mean to beat a dead horse here. I just want to reiterate, because the fact that we all came, I thought I'd say my piece. To Rochelle's point, I've also been placing calls for the last couple of months to the city. I've tried reaching the engineer. I've left voicemails. I've sent emails to my counselor. I've sent emails to the engineer that have also gone unanswered. So as you can see, like, a lot of us are very disappointed in the situation. I understand that there's a lot of complications that go into planning, and there's a lot of roads that need to be redone. But I think the fact that, you know, we're not getting answers from our elected officials or from people that are working from the city just compounds the fact that the street isn't being
You're
done this
getting
year.
answers from your elected officials, but you should also be getting answers, prompt answers from anyone you call. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point that out again, just to reiterate what Rochelle had said earlier. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Frederick, and thank you for your time for this session. I'm going to be very fast. It's just Westmount is one of the most famous neighborhood in Canada, as you know, maybe ranked, I think, top 5. And I like this neighborhood. I just wanted to talk about the metro station at Water. Nowadays, it's a very Agora center metro, because it has many different intersections between the mall, Alexinion, Dawson, exterior, interior, but there's a lot of homeless. And 3 years ago, I got attacked, and it's not the best experience. I'm a tall guy, I can defend myself, but imagine elder people, kids. Today, it's unfortunately, I know there's many staff that are trying to work a lot to make the station safe, but it could be interesting to improve the security, maybe to have a 24-hour inspector, because it's not very secure. They are everywhere, unfortunately. I'm not criticizing them. I mean, just about, security. That's all.
Okay, thank you. We will look into that.
Thank you very much.
I'll bring it up with our security people and our commander. We have a very good police commander, and I don't know if it's their responsibility or the city of Montreal, but
yes. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Good comment. Thank you. So, thank you. So that's, we'll go to the next item. We have a big agenda. Item number 4, adoption of the agenda. I'd like to call upon Councillor Levine.
Well, thank you, Mr.
Shami,
Mayor.
sorry.
I move that the agenda of the regular council sitting of March 17th, 2026 be adopted.
And I'd like to adopt the following modification. Adopt the agenda with the addition of the following item under new business. And it will be number 44, termination of employment, employee file number 07012, and the removal of the following items. Number 7, support for the 2026 Hooked on School Days, and also number 7, appointment to the Transportation Advisory Committee.
So we now call a vote on your proposal.
Yes, you just need to call a vote on the amendment,
Amendment.
and then the adoption with the proposed
So
amendment.
did you propose?
I did make the proposal.
And do I have a seconder? Councillor Shami, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. And now we have to vote on the adoption of the amended agenda. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Moss, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. We now go to item number 5, which is confirmation of minutes. I call upon Councillor Chada.
Je propose que le procès-verbal de la séance ordinaire du Conseil tenue le 3 février 2026 soit approuvé.
Do we have to vote on it? Seconder, Councillor Shami, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Reports to council, which is 6.1, correspondence. So I am tabling the following documents. A list of bylaws adopted at the agglomeration's ordinary sitting, which was held on February 19th, 2026. In addition, I table a resolution number CG 260070 related to the adoption of bylaw RCG 14-029, adopted at the agglomeration's ordinary sitting held on January 29th, and bylaw RCG 14-029-8 of the agglomeration as well. And the table showing the nature of the changes is of the City of Montreal's urban planning plans and regulations. Item 6.2, tabling of minutes of correction. I call upon the city clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Conformément à l'article 92.1 de la loi sur les cités civiles, je dépose le procès-verbal de correction portant sur la résolution 2026-02-050.
Merci. Item 6.3, minutes of the General Committee of Council. I call upon Councillor Jamy.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Les procès-verbaux des rencontres du comité plénier de conseil municipal tenu le 1er octobre 2025, 17 novembre 2025, 8 décembre 2025 et le 13 janvier 2026 sont déposés et disponibles sur le site web de la Ville.
Thank you. 6.4, minutes of the Transportation Advisory Committee. I call upon Councillor Kez.
Les procès-verbaux racontent au comité consultif de transport tenu le 10 juin 2025 et le 9 septembre 2025 sont disposés et disponibles sur le site web de la Ville.
Thank you. Item 6.5, minutes of the Finance and Administration Committee. I call upon Councillor Shami.
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Le procès-verbal de la rencontre de la Commission des finances et de l'administration tenu le 25 juillet 2025 est maintenant déposé.
Thank you. 6.6, Workforce Report. I call upon Councillor Shami.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The workforce report for the month of February 2026 is now tabled.
Item 6.7, list of approvals in virtue of bylaw 1507. I call upon Councillor Shami.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Conformément au règlement 1507 sur la délégation de pouvoir à certains employés de la Ville de Westmount, la liste d'autorisation de dépenses pour le mois de janvier 2026 est maintenant déposée.
Thank you. Item 6.8, which is the payment registry. I call upon Councillor Chada.
La liste des paiements pour le mois de janvier 2026 est déposée.
Okay, item number, General Business and Administration, item number 7 has been deferred, as you heard it initially. We go to number 8, which is the appointment members of the Westmount's Local Heritage Council. I call upon Councillor Levine. Chada.
Whereas bylaw 1607 entitled bylaw 1607 to establish Westmount's Local Heritage Council, I move that Monsieur Clément Desmarques be appointed chair of Westmount's Local Heritage Council, that Mrs. Carol Sheffer be appointed vice chair of Westmount's Local Heritage Council, that Mr. David Hanna be appointed as member of Westmount's Local Heritage Council, that Ms. Louise Carpentier, a member of the Westmount Historical Association, be appointed as member of Westmount's Local Heritage Council, that Councillor Paul Levine, a municipal council member, be appointed as an elective member of Westmount's Local Heritage Council, that Councillor Sean Moss, a municipal council member, be appointed as a substitute elective member of Westmount's Local Heritage Council, that all the above-mentioned appointments be for a term not exceeding 2 years pursuant to bylaw 1607 to establish Westmount's Local Heritage Council.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Shami. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No, passed. Thank you. Item number 9, which is agreement with St. Andrew's Early Childhood Center. I call upon Councillor Shami.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the city authorize the signing of the partnership agreement with the Centre de la Petite Enfance St. Andrews attached to this resolution, and that the Director of Culture, Sports, Recreation, and Social Development be authorized to sign the said agreement, as well as any documents required to give full effect of this resolution.
All in, seconder? Councilor Chada, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Number 10, finance. Grants to not-profit organizations for the year 2026. I call upon Councilor Moss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the city grant subsidies to the following organizations for the year 2026. The Atwater Library and Computer Center, $40,000. The Green Avenue Community Center, Inc., $18,000. The Contactivity Center, Inc., $40,000. The Visual Arts Center, $2,000. The Westmount Battery, $2,000. The Westmount Historical Association, $4,200. And that the amounts required for this expenditure be drawn from the available funds in budget item 02-134-00-970.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councilor Chada, all in favor? Thank you. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Contractual matters, which is item number 11, awarding of contract for the maintenance of sports facilities. I call upon Councilor Chomsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This item relates to the maintenance of all of our sports facilities in the Westmount, and it includes things like the installation of topsoil and surf and the removal of the existing turf so that our recreational fields will be ready for the upcoming season. Therefore, I move that contract INV 2026-001 be awarded to Pelouse Santé for the maintenance of the city sports fields, that an expenditure of $106,251.85, taxes included, be authorized for this purpose, that the sums necessary for this expenditure be drawn from the available funds of budget item 02-751-20522, and that the Director of Public Works be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect to this resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councilor Shami, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 12, awarding of contract for municipal building condition records. I call upon Councilor Chomsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This item relates to a contract to produce one of the inventories that we have asked for as a council so that we can better manage our assets. At the completion of this, we will have a very important part for the roadmap for us to continue reinvesting in our building infrastructure. I therefore move that contract INV 2026-003 for professional services for the preparation of building condition reports for 10 municipal buildings be awarded to Noda Steltlon, Inc., that an expenditure of $94,428.97, all taxes included, be authorized for this purpose, that the amounts required for this expenditure be drawn from available funds in budget item 233-1522039, that the Director of Engineering be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect to this resolution. Thank you.
Do I have a seconder? Councilor Levine, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Item number 13, which is contract award for professional services for the environmental characterization of certain streets. I call upon Councilor Moss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that contract INV-2026-006 for professional environmental soil characterization services be awarded to 9152-4629 Quebec, Inc., that an expenditure of $52,647.05, all taxes included, be authorized for this purpose, that the amounts required for this expenditure be drawn from the available funds in budget item 23-310-51-008, that the Director of Engineering be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect to this resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Levine, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No, thank you. Item number 14, which is the awarding of contract for disposal of street sweeper waste. I call upon Councillor Chamy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that contract INV 2026-010 be awarded to Recyclage Notre-Dame, Inc. for the disposal of street sweeper waste for the period between April 1st, 2026 and March 31st, 2027, that an expenditure of $63,889.88, all taxes included, be authorized for this amount, and that the amounts required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 02-324-00521.
Thank you very much. A seconder, Councillor Moss, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No, thank you. Item number 15, which is the awarding of contract for road marking services for the city of Westmount. I call upon Councillor Levine.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move the contract PUB 2025-058 be awarded to LeanFit, Inc. for road marking services for the city of Westmount for a duration of 3 years from 2026 to 2028, and that an amount of $958,678.96, all taxes included, be authorized for this contract, and that the amounts required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 02-136-00-419.
I would like to point out for this contract, and there are many others like that, where it's a maximum amount and it's could very well be that the contract amount we actually pay is less. So we have a unit price for every single thing that they do, and it's a 3-year contract, and they give us an invoice of every month of what work was actually done, and we pay the agreed upon price. So this is the maximum that could be payable. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Moss, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passed. Thank you.
You're just asking for a pause for technical difficulties.
Oh. Pause for technical difficulties.
Ask Paul. She can talk.
Oui, on a des petites difficultés techniques, donc je vous proposerais seulement de faire une pause dans la séance. Si c'est possible d'arrêter le live feed. On va arrêter la séance, si vous le voulez bien, Monsieur le maire.
Keep you waiting. We're restarting at 8:07 with item number 16, awarding the contract for Victoria Hall replacement of the foundation of the main staircase. I call upon Councillor Moss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that contract PUB 2026-012 be awarded to Concepcion PLHP Inc., that an expenditure of $465,293.58, all tax included, be authorized for this purpose, that the amounts required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 233-120-4009, that the Director of Engineering Department be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect to the present resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chada. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
I was sorry. I
Sorry.
was late. I was
Sorry.
I voted in favor.
Okay, thank you. Item number 17, which is the acquisition of library materials for Westmount's Public Library. I call upon Councillor Chada.
I move that an expenditure of $60,000, all taxes included, be authorized for the acquisition of library materials through Librairie Clio, that the amounts referred for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 02-770-00673, that an expenditure of $100,000, all taxes included, be authorized for the acquisition of library materials through Librairie Paragraphe, that the amounts required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 02-770-00673 and 02-770-00674. That an expenditure of $60,000, all taxes included, be authorized for the acquisition of library materials through Overdrive. That the amounts required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 02-770-00671. That the library director be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect to this resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Shami. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No, thank you. Item 18, additional funds are required for the reconstruction of Hydro Westmount's access shafts 115 and 116. This was a contract from last June. The work is essentially done, and there's a little bit of an overage, unfortunately. I call upon Councillor Moss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that an amount of $128,955.96, all taxes included, be authorized for the purpose of this contract, that an expenditure of $1,093,567.47, all taxes included, be authorized for the reconstruction of underground access shafts PA-115 and PA-116 with Construction NRC Inc., in accordance with the contractual documents of the public call for tender PUB-2025-003, that the amounts required for this expenditure be drawn from the available funds in budget item 23-311-02-024, that the Director of Hydro Westmount be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect to this resolution.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Shami. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Passed. Item number 19, which is a renewal of contract for the catch basin cleaning. I call upon Councillor Chomsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This item relates to cleaning of catch basins and the removal of dirt and sludge from those catch basins. I therefore move that Council renew contract PUB 2025-023 with Service de Rebut Solange for the cleaning of catch basins for the period of April 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026 for an amount of $69,935, taxes included, that the sums necessary for this expenditure be drawn from the available funds of budget item 02-415-00521, and that the Director of Public Works be authorized to sign any document required to give effect to this resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Shami. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 20, additional funds for professional services for the development of a 2026-2036 maintenance master plan for hydro. I call upon Hydro Westmount. I call upon Councillor Shami.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and also an additional expenditure to add. I move that an additional expenditure of $9,772.88, taxes included, be authorized for the purpose of this contract. Originally, that an expenditure of $133,371, taxes included, be authorized for professional services to develop a maintenance master plan for Hydro Westmount from 2026 to 2036 with Boutelette Parizeau, Inc., in accordance with the contractual documents of the public call for tender PUB 2025-048. The amounts required for this expenditure be drawn from the available funds in budget item 23-311-02-017. And finally, that the Director of Hydro Westmount be given the, that the Director of Hydro Westmount be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect of this resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Moss, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 21, which is a price adjustment for a contract PUB 2025-054. I call upon Councillor Levine.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This contract relates to the purchase of 2,000 meters of cable, and whereas the high volatility of copper prices being a significant component of the cables, price adjustment clause of up to 5% was included in the tender documents. I move that a price adjustment of 10.23% be authorized for contract PUB-2025-054, that an additional expenditure for $30,452.84, all taxes included, be authorized for contract PUB-2025-054, and that the necessary funds for this expenditure be taken from budget item 58-258-00-000, and that the Director of Hydro Westmount be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect to the present resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chomsky, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 22, which is additional funds for the reconstruction of the retaining wall at King George Park. I call upon Councillor Kez.
Thank you. I move that an additional expenditure in the amount of $17,050.80, all taxes included, be authorized for the purpose of this contract. That an expenditure of $364,291.86, all taxes included, be authorized for the reconstruction of the retaining wall at King George Park with Les Entreprises de Construction, Inc., in accordance with the contractual document of the public call, public tenders, PUB 2022-020, that the amounts required for this expenditure be drawn from the available funds in the budget, item 23-310-92-017, that the Director of Engineering Department be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect to this resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chada, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 23, which is the annual renewal of policies for our group insurance. I call upon Councillor Moss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the renewal of the group insurance coverage for active employees, retirees, and elected officials are authorized for the period from April 1st, 2026 to March 31st, 2027, that the payment of premiums in the amount of $1,382,767, all taxes included, be authorized for the period from April 1st, 2026 to March 31st, 2027, that an expense of $1,037,047, tax included, be authorized for the period from April 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026 for the 2026 fiscal year, that an expense of $345,649, tax included, be authorized for the period from January 1st, 2027 to March 31st, 2027 for the 2027 fiscal year, that the amounts required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under the following budget items, and there's a table here that is part of this motion. I also move that the General Director be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect to this resolution.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chada, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carried. Item number 24, which is the addition of funds required for a litigation matter, and I call upon Councillor Levine.
The city is a respondent in an application for judicial review concerning bylaw 1522, bylaw concerning dogs and related permits. In that respect, I move that an expenditure of $40,396.47, all taxes included, be authorized to ensure the city's defense in file 500-17-134-236-259, and that the amounts required for this expenditure shall be taken from the available funds under budget item 02-140-00-412, and that the city clerk be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect to this resolution.
Thank you, Councillor Levine. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chada? People aren't so keen to put up their hands today. They're tired. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carried. Item number 25, which is addition of funds needed for the challenge of bylaw RCG 25002 of the Montreal agglomeration. I call upon Councillor Chomsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, this is a request for additional funds. The city is a party through the Association of Suburban Municipalities to previously entered into a lawsuit regarding a loan authorization regarding the Quartier-Namur Hippodome project. I therefore move that an expenditure of $5,000, including all applicable taxes, be authorized to ensure the city's representation in the challenge to bylaw RCG 25002 of the Montreal agglomeration, that the necessary funds for this expenditure be drawn from budget line 02-140-00-412, that the city clerk be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect to this resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Moss, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carried. Item number 26, which is contract termination, HR and payroll system. I call upon Councillor Chada.
I move that Resolution 2026-01012 be rescinded, that the contract awarded to Dayforce Canada Limited for the modernization of HR payroll and timesheet systems, contract PUB 2025060, be cancelled and unilaterally terminated without cause for all legal purposes, effective upon the expiry of a 30-day period following the transmission of this resolution to Dayforce Canada Limited.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Moss, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carried. Item number 27, which is the awarding of contract for tree removal and stump grinding work. Councillor Kez, you're okay to speak? Okay.
I move that contract PUB 2026-002 for tree removal and stump grinding work be awarded to Arbor Design Inc. That the contract be for an initial term of 1 year, namely for the year 2026, with the possibility of a 1-year additional operational year for 2027. That the amount required for this expenditure be taken from the available funds of budget item 0275220-457, as the director of the Public Works Department be authorized to sign any document required to give full effect to this resolution.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chada, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Thank you. Item number 28, urban planning, tabling of the Planning Advisory Committee, known as PAC, minutes of February 2026. I call upon Councillor Chomsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that council take note of and accept the tabling of the minutes of the PAC for the following meetings: the regular meeting held February 10 and 12, 2026, and the extraordinary meeting held on February 10, 2026.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Shami, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Item number 29. I call upon Councillor Moss. It's the approval of site planning and architectural integration programs.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that council act on the opinions of the Planning Advisory Committee, that's the PAC, as set out in the minutes of the regular meetings held on February 10th and 12th, 2026, and approve with respect to each item the plans and conditions for issuing permits attached to the items below, and there's a table included, as assessed in accordance with Bylaw 1305 on site planning and architectural integration programs.
Don't have to read them all. Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Shami, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 30, Framework Resolution, Exceptional Powers in Urban Planning. By way of background, this is a law in the province of Quebec that allows cities to use certain powers to approve things, even if they aren't zoned that way, in order to meet certain criteria, including providing additional housing. And it's suggested that each city should have, if they want, their own sort of framework for this. So this is what this is. I call upon Councillor Levine.
And thank you, Mr. Mayor, and please bear with me, it's a long one. I'll try and get through it quickly. Whereas on February 21st, 2024, the National Assembly adopted the Act to amend various legislative provisions relating to housing, LQ 2024 C2, Bill 31. Whereas on March 18, 2025, the National Assembly passed Bill 79, amending Section 93 of the Act to amend various legislative provisions relating to housing, LQ 2024 C2. Whereas the Act is intended in particular to speed up the approval of projects and the construction of housing during this period of housing shortage. Whereas Section 93 allows municipalities to authorize before February 21st, 2027, or any extension determined by the minister responsible for housing, a housing project that deviates from this local urban planning regulations in force when the project involves the construction of at least 3 dwellings. Whereas the housing minister and the minister responsible for the status of women has announced her intention to extend until February 21st, 2029, the temporary power granted to municipalities in order to accelerate the completion of housing projects, and whereas the City of Westmount wishes to exercise its power to grant exceptions in order to increase the supply of housing within its territory and speed up the authorization process. I move that the Council adopt the following guidelines to regulate the application of the exceptional powers in urban planning conferred on cities by Section 93 of the Act to amend various legislative provisions relating to housing. The power of exception granted by law is exercised by the Municipal Council. 2, only a residential or mixed-use project comprising at least 5 dwellings may be authorized by the Council under the power of exception granted by law. The project must comply with the urban plan, with the exception of Chapter 5.2 on densities, which may be subject to an exemption. Point 4, no exemption may be granted by Council for the following urban planning bylaws for provisions. Building Bylaw 1391, Bylaw 1634 on permits and certificates, Bylaw 1609 concerning the demolition of buildings, except in cases where the existing building on the site of the proposed project has already been approved for demolition by the Demolition Committee. Bylaw 1305 on site planning and architectural integration programs. Section 4.1, including provisions concerning the transfer of payment of a sum for parks, playgrounds, and national areas, of Bylaw 1301 concerning subdivisions. Point 5, authorization by the Municipal Council must be preceded by a public presentation in form of a neighborhood meeting organized by the applicant and held by a neutral third party, the terms and conditions of which are determined by the Council, as well as a report following this meeting. A qualitative assessment of the project according to the objectives and the evaluation criteria set out in the bylaw on site planning and architectural integration programs. An opinion from the Planning Advisory Committee. Point 6, before authorizing a project, the City Council must evaluate if, according to the following criteria, the impact of the project on its surrounding area, evaluation of the project, particularly in terms of sunlight, traffic, and disturbances on the existing built environment. Substantial benefits to the community. The project offers benefits to the community, particularly through the integration of sustainable development strategies. Example, LEED certification or equivalent, the provision of affordable and/or family-oriented housing, and the creation of spaces or uses that are accessible to the public and contribute to the quality of the living environment. Outdoor amenities and ecological approach. The project includes outdoor amenities and environmental strategies aimed at reducing heat islands and sustainable stormwater management. Point 7, the resolution by which the Municipal Council grants authorization may stipulate any conditions that must be met for the project to be carried out, such as the conclusion of an agreement to ensure compliance with the evaluation criteria, particularly with regards to benefits for the community. The conclusion of an agreement between the applicant and the municipality establishing rules to ensure, for the period it determines, that the housing remains social or affordable, or that it remains intended for seniors. A period of validity for the resolution, as well as a deadline for the completion of the project. The requirement of a monetary guarantee to ensure the completion of the project. Any other conditions that the council deem necessary, subject to the powers assigned to it. Point 8, authorization granted by the council, where applicable, does not exempt the applicant from the obligation to obtain all required permits and certifications, not from paying any related fees. Point 9, the fees applicable to the processing of an application under this framework resolution are those provided for in an application for a regulatory amendment, billing items, analysis fees for an application to amend one or more urban planning bylaws, and publication fees in section 19.3 of the current fee schedule.
Thank you. I might point out also that this gives, as I mentioned before, the council a lot of authority to accept projects that might otherwise have difficulty being accepted. And we have the right, the council has the right to negotiate benefits, and in fact would not accept a project that does not have substantial benefits to the community. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Levine. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chomsky, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So we have two people opposed. Thank you. I respect that.
May just a little reason. I'm not comfortable with the regulatory framework with regards to Section 93 of the Act. I would have preferred a framework which incorporated some safeguards and assurances for the special planning program of the Southeast. I'm not at ease with putting an area that just went through a complete revamped zone bylaw, which with much public debate and opposition, only to find itself at possible future changes. Unfortunately, the majority of council did not share my views, and I'm not able to vote in favor.
Thank you, Councillor Kez. We hear you.
Very briefly, I concur with Councillor Kez, and I think in particular, this is a great start. I just think that point 6 and point 9 could probably go a little bit further in the requirements that we're asking of applicants. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Moss. We hear you as well. So motion carries. We'll go to item number 31, which is bylaws. Adoption of bylaw 1647 concerning the designation of authority having jurisdiction for bylaws enforced by the Urban Planning Department. I call upon Councillor Levine.
Oui, juste avant, je vous signale que toutes les formalités requises pour la dispense de lecture de ce règlement ont été respectées et que des copies du règlement ont été remises à tous les membres du Conseil et mises à la disposition du public.
I move that bylaw 1647, entitled Bylaw Concerning the Designation of Authority Having Jurisdiction for Bylaws Enforced by the Urban Planning Department, be adopted.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Moss, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carried. Thank you. I lost my place now. 32. 32, adoption of bylaw 1648 on the occupancy and maintenance of movables. I call upon Councillor Moss.
Thank you.
Oui, donc encore une fois, je signale que toutes les formalités requises pour la dispense de lecture de ce règlement ont été respectées et que des copies du règlement ont été remises à tous les membres du Conseil et mises à la disposition du public.
Merci. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that bylaw 1648, entitled Bylaw on the Occupancy and Maintenance of Immovables, be adopted.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chada, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. We're going to item number 33, adoption bylaw 54, which repeals bylaw 1611. I call upon Councillor Shami, but first the city clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Madame Greffier.
Toutes les formalités requises pour la dispense de lecture de ce règlement ont été respectées et des copies du règlement ont été remises à tous les membres du Conseil et mises à la disposition du public.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that bylaw 1654, entitled a bylaw repealing interim control bylaw 1611, governing for certain uses, new constructions, demolitions, extensions, transformations for the purpose of converting the use of a building, cadastral operations, and lot subdivisions for immovables located in the sector identified as the southeast sector be now adopted.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Chada, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. 34, which is the adoption bylaw 1655 to authorize expenditures and a loan for $10,415,000 for road work and hydro Westmount work on Sherbrooke. I call upon Councillor Levine.
Oui, je signale que toutes les formalités requises pour la dispense de lecture de ce règlement ont été respectées et que des copies du règlement ont été remises à tous les membres du Conseil et mises à la disposition du public.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Je propose que le règlement 1655 intitulé « Règlement décrétant des dépenses et un emprunt de 10 415 000 pour des travaux de voirie et d'Hydro-Westmount sur le rue Sherbrooke soit adopté.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Moss, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carried. I would like to point out that we're not borrowing this money. It's just an authorization. It's an amount that's more than the expected actual cost. It includes interest, includes a contingency, and the work there includes a lot of hydro work underneath, which has to be done. Hydro equipment that's at the end of its life. Okay, I go now to item number 35, which is the Notice of Motion Bylaw 1656 on the Code of Ethics and Conduct for Elected Municipal Officials. I call upon Councillor Shami.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I give notice, the notice of motion of the intention to submit for adoption at a subsequent meeting of council, bylaw number 1656, entitled A Bylaw on the Code of Ethics and the Conduct for Elected Municipal Officials. The purpose of this bylaw, Mr. Mayor, is to establish a code of ethics and conduct applicable to the municipal elected officials of the city pursuant to the Act respecting ethics and conduct in municipal matters, CQLR CE 15 1.01. Every municipality must adopt a code of ethics and conduct applicable to its municipal elected officials. Following a general election, a municipality must adopt the new code of ethics and conduct to replace the one currently in force. A copy of this draft bylaw is now available for consultation.
Thank you. No vote. It's a notion of motion. Notice of motion. 36, Notice of Motion Bylaw 1658, further amending Bylaw 1575 to establish a Planning Advisory Committee. Councillor Chomsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I give notice of motion, notice of the intention to submit at a future council meeting bylaw number 1658 entitled Bylaw Further Amending Bylaw 1575 to establish a Planning Advisory Committee, the object of which will be of this bylaw is to further amend Bylaw 1575 to modify certain provisions applicable to the Planning Advisory Committee. The proposed amendments notably aim to reduce the number of alternative members of the committee and to modify the responsibilities of the committee secretary. A copy of this draft bylaw is available for consultation. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 37, which is also a notice of motion for bylaw 1660 to establish rates and certain conditions for the supply of electricity for the year 2026 to 2027. I call upon Councillor Levine.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I give notice of motion of the intention to submit at a future council meeting bylaw number 1650 entitled bylaw 1660 entitled bylaw 1660 to establish rates and certain conditions for the supply of electricity for the year 2026 to 2027. I table the draft of said bylaw. The object of bylaw 1660 repeals bylaw 1633 and updates the rates related to electricity consumption for Hydro Westmount customers effective April 1, 2026. And a copy of this draft bylaw is available for consultation.
Thank you very much. Human Resources, item number 38, professional liability insurance for city legal professionals. I call upon Councillor Levine.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Je propose que la Ville prenne fait et cause pour les juristes, avocats et notaires à son emploi et les indemnise en cas de sinistre.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Moss, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No, thank you. Item number 39, which is extension, the appointment of contractual position for coordinator in the Public Works Department. I call upon Councillor Chada.
I move that council approve the extension of Mr. Masucci's contractual appointment as a coordinator garage and vehicle fleet for the Public Works Department effective April 8th, 2026, and this in accordance with the conditions of employment and compensation of management personnel. Que la prolongation soit pour une durée maximale de 3 mois, soit jusqu'au 8 juillet 2026. Que le Conseil fixe le traitement de M. Masucci selon le groupe de traitement Grade 9, taux 2026 et à même les disponibilités du poste budgétaire 02 327 000 111.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Shami, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No, motion carried. Thank you. Item number 40, which is the appointment of superintendent of municipal buildings in the Public Works Department. I call upon Councillor Chomsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that council approves the permanent appointment of Monsieur Ouellette to the position of Superintendent of Municipal Buildings for Public Works Department effective March 18, 2026, in accordance with the terms and conditions of employment and compensation for management personnel, that compensation be set according to pay grade 8, 2026 rate from funds available in budget item 0231000111, that the appointment be subject to a probationary period in accordance with the agreement on working conditions and remuneration for management personnel. Thank you.
This is not a new employee, by the way, it's a promotion for an existing employee. Seconded by Councillor Shami. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No, motion carried. Item number 41, which is appointment of a legal advisor of legal services in City Clerk's Office. I call upon Councillor Chada.
Je propose que le Conseil approuve la nomination permanente de Maître Simard au poste de conseillère juridique service juridique de greffe à compter du 23 mars 2026 et ce conformément aux conditions de travail et de rémunération du personnel cadre. Que la rémunération soit fixée selon le groupe de traitement 7 à taux 2026 et à même les disponibilités du poste budgétaire 02 140 00 111. Que cette nomination soit ajustée à une période d'approbation conformément à la Convention sur les conditions de travail et de rémunération du personnel cadre.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Shami, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. We have three.
I'm sorry,
oh.
I didn't see your vote. Okay.
Thank you. The next three items are termination of employment. Item number 42, cessation of employment, employee number 06973. I call upon Councillor Levine.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that council authorize and ratify the termination of the probationary period and the cessation of employment of employee file number 06973, effective February 23rd, 2026, in accordance with the recommendation of the Director General.
Any seconder? Councilor Chada, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Continue on. Item number 43, termination of employment, employee number 96235. I call upon Councilor Moss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that council authorize the dismissal for cause of the employee with file number 96235, effective March 17th, 2026, as recommended by the Director General.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councilor Chada, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 44, termination of employment for employee number 07012. I call upon Councilor Kez.
Okay, I move that council authorize and ratify the termination of probationary period and the cessation of employment of employee number 07012 effective March 12, 2026, in accordance with the recommendations of Substitute Director General.
Do I have a seconder? Councilor Moss, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carried. We're now at item number 45, which is the second question period. Do people have any questions?
Hello again.
Alex.
Alex Champion de la Castle.
Is it Alex or Alex?
Alec.
Alec, okay, with a C.
No worries. Just want to propose something for the Southeast, for the PPU. So I stumbled upon an article a few weeks ago about, we were talking about maybe having, LEED certified buildings. And there's a city hall in northern Quebec who actually had a stronger environmental certification, which is the highest in the world, which is called Passive House. So basically what it does, the energetic consumption had been decreased of 85%, and the cost of energy for a year of that municipal building, which were at $26,000, are now at $9,000. So it's a project. In this certification, there are safeguards for the architecture. And also, there are new sources of energy that are included, such as geothermy. I don't have the article. Usually I have the article printed out to give it to the clerk, but I'll be more than happy to send it to council. And there are a bunch of details of how it does work, but I would just, as you are having maybe discussions with developers, it might be a point that you would maybe want to raise as we're thinking about, sustainability and environmental concerns for this area as well.
Okay, thank you. Send us the information. Yes, Councilor Moss.
I add something. You're bringing this up. I'm not quite prepared for this, but I'm familiar with Passive House, and as far as I know, it's often used for residential construction, single-family homes. Recently in Quebec, there was a library that got Passive House certified. I have a hard time seeing towers getting Passive House certified. However, with the LEED certification, there are different levels. We could aim for higher than just the basic, and there's another certification called WELL, which tries to protect the well-being of the inhabitants of the building, so monitoring air quality, water quality, having access to light, etc. So we hear you. I'm just offhand chatting with you here. I'm not sure Passive House is the best route to go, but we will explore some options.
No worries. I just wanted to bring this up as I stumbled upon that article, but I could again share it to council, and I really appreciate council's work on the Southeast. We may have differences of opinion, but I really do appreciate every single one of you, your commitment to this area. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions? We have some questions online. So I can read the first one. It's from Jonathan Michaud. J'ai appris que vous allez reconstruire la rue Mountain l'été prochain. Est-ce que vous pouvez nous confirmer que le projet va inclure l'enfouissement des fils électriques? La rue Mountain est une des très rares rues à Westmount où les fils sont visibles et c'est très laid. C'est aussi injuste pour les citoyens qui habitent autour. Il sera vraiment déplorable de manquer cette occasion unique. Merci beaucoup. So in response, our engineers looked at this, and I have a response from them. C'était évalué par une firme d'ingénierie mandatés par la Ville. Cependant, les coûts impliqués pour l'enfouissement ainsi que les enjeux techniques ont été jugés trop importants pour être inclus dans le cadre du projet. I know we had discussed that, and unfortunately it was not workable. Question number 2, is it possible to get an update on the southeast? And what about we haven't heard about for a while. What about construction of an indoor pool? So as I mentioned earlier, we are reaching out to people, and developers are reaching out to us. They're looking at a few things, and possible we'll come forward with plans or outlines to discuss with our urban planning department, and we hope to see things get along relatively soon. In terms of the pool, we haven't looked at that in great detail. There's a lot of pros and cons. Everybody would like to have an indoor pool. Where should it be? There's issues there in the southeast. Where exactly would we put it? Do we have enough space? Do we have enough parking? So it is being looked at, and I don't have any more answers at this point. I have another question, a third question. 16 households of the old train station complex have, over an extended period of time, documented an expanding list of unresolved issues affecting our properties. Despite repeated requests, the mayor continues to refuse an in-person meeting. So these people have been met with. Unfortunately, their issues are on private property. One of the issues is that there's a common drain that's used by many of the people. It requires some work. I'm told it was $3,000, and they're asking us to pay for it. And it's not a question of the money, it's a question of the principle. If it's not on a public property, we can't do it. It's private property, and they have to do that. So it's been explained to them, and I will follow up the DG, who's not here today. She's very familiar with this case and has spoken to this person on many occasions. It's Diana Hernandez, and I'll follow up to make sure we speak to her again. Any other comments or questions? Thanks for being here. Thanks for your patience. I call the meeting closed at 8:50. Thank you. See you next time.